it's funny because this is kind of what led me to buying this gym.
Yeah.
I think I've told you this before, but like my goal is angel investing.
Mm-hmm.
Or like running a private equity company, one of the two. But my goal is to invest money into entrepreneurs and help them build their businesses. Like I love the idea of that. There's so many of these wonderful ideas out there that some of them are junk. Some of them are just a dog that you're going to lose money on. But they're like, yeah, there's a lot of great ideas that I think I want to foster. But if you've never run a fund, why would an investment manager trust their fund to you?
Yeah.
So that was my thought. Is like that's where I eventually want to get. So within like a few months back, I was thinking like, okay, what are the big steps they're gonna get me there?
Yeah.
So my thought was, I'll work my way backwards. So I want to either on my own, with my own money, or through a private equity fund. Through one of those two, I want to invest money into small businesses and help them grow. So that's the end goal. So backwards from there is, I need to know how to invest in companies. I need to know like what's a good deal in a company. Like when I look, need to know how to value a company. I need to know how to structure a negotiation, right? And so the next step backwards from there was, well, I'll just do it. I'll just go buy a business. So I literally went online and I Googled how to buy a business, right? And it came up with a whole bunch of different things. So I read a whole bunch of books about business valuation. And there's just like these websites online. Like the one I was at was Biz Buy Sell. B-I-Z buy sell, right?
Yeah.
And it was just like a bunch of companies for sale. And I was like, this is a whole world that I never even knew existed.
I didn't know that existed either.
Like, and it makes sense. Like if I'd have thought about it, I would have realized it. But it's like, okay, well, once I feel confident in business valuation, which I still don't feel 100% confident. It doesn't matter because I bought a business. Or I already paid the money.
Yeah.
It's like, once I feel confident in that, I'm going to go start making offers, And I saw a whole bunch of different companies for sale. It's based on like SDE, which is seller's discretionary earnings, which is how much money the guy who owns it now is bringing in.
You mean like profit?
Basically,
or revenue?
Like profit. Yeah, not revenue.
Okay.
It's basically like profit, but there's different ways to calculate. Like if I'm paying myself a salary, then the profit of the business is separate. So like you combine anything that the owner is keeping, and that's the seller's discretionary earnings, right? And it's based, and then you look at the numbers of like, is based on the seller's discretionary earnings, is it worth this amount of money with the collateral or whatever, like the equipment or whatever they own or the inventory,
Right.
And there's a whole bunch of different ways to value business, but that's like the simplest way is I look at the seller's discretionary earnings and then I times it by 3, and then that's my rule of thumb for how much this business is worth to me.
Okay.
Right? Assuming that the business would be able to run for the next 3 years. So I look into how well it's running, and I look into how financially sound it is. And then, like, based on, like, is it a lot of involvement from the owner, then the price might go up from there. And the price might go down, the value. Or if it's, like, a little bit of, like, if it's absentee and he's just raking in money and somebody else is the manager, then the value could go up. But that's, like, kind of the rule of thumb that I came up with anyway. It's not always going to be the case.
Makes sense. The more passive it is, the more expensive it would be.
Yeah, so I was looking into a whole bunch of different companies. I looked into like an Asian grocery store.
Oh, really?
That's in Orem. Yeah,
cool.
I think it's just called the Asian store. Anyway, I looked into like a soda business, and I looked into a whole bunch of different ones, like a used car business, and I was just like evaluating the worth of these different companies, and then I was like, you know what? Why don't I go into a business that I feel like I understand? Right? And I feel like I understand the gym business. And I've since learned that I really didn't understand it that much, but more than, even with the limited knowledge at that time, it was more than like a car dealership. I don't know anything about running a car dealership. Like, I know how to make sales. I'm sure I could sell cars. Yeah. But I don't know anything about the actual management of
and
the
the culture
dealership.
of
Yeah, right. Exactly. So I was like, well, I started looking into gyms specifically of like my first business. It makes sense for it to be a gym, right? Because that's something that I understand. So I started looking into gyms. I found one. I put in an offer, and they didn't accept my offer, which was actually really great because it helped me realize like I'm not just buying something to buy something. Like I really understand, and this is what I think this is worth, right? And they didn't accept it, which was actually good. I put in a different offer to a different place. And they super didn't accept it because it was way different than what they were asking for. And then I randomly, as I was going through this process on Facebook Marketplace, of all places, because I like to buy gym equipment on Facebook Marketplace, so I always get like notifications when people post new things. It's like, oh, squat rack for sale near you, that kind of stuff. And it was like, gym for sale, $50,000. It's like, oh, geez. So I
oh, that's crazy.
Right then I sent him a message because it popped into my world right exactly when I wanted it. Right. So I sent him a message, and then like it wasn't that complicated of a process. Like I was like, hey, I want to come look at it. And then like I met with the owner at the place, and then he walked me around, and then as we sat back down, like he showed me some like the financial info, like the equipment list, like the memberships and stuff like that. It took like total probably 45 minutes. And then I was like, okay, I want to put in an offer. I want to pay this much. I want to put this much down in cash, and for the rest of it, I'll get a loan. And he was like, okay, I got to meet with 3 other people, and if I like your offer, then we'll go with it. So I wrote up like an agreement. I just Googled like a business sale agreement template. And then I like copied and like filled in the blanks with all my info.
Like in a totally different font, like Brad.
It's interesting because
cool.
like when they say like everything is negotiable, like it's obviously not 100% true, but it's like I could literally do anything I want. Like I'm buying this business, like we're creating this deal between the two of us. Like one of the things about real estate when we bought this house was that I think the deal would have been a lot different if we just sat down with the sellers. Because there were certain things that we wanted them to leave their trampoline, for example, or like little things like that, where if we had just talked about it and like a little bit of give and take in negotiation, I'm sure we could have come out with the exact deal that we wanted. But in real estate, and I'm not an expert by any means, but like I tell my agent like something that I want them to change in the offer, and then they tell the other person's agent, and then they tell them, and then they like either accept it or reject it, and they tell it to their agent, who then tells it, and it's like a game of telephone. And it's like it took us like 3 weeks to get a final offer accepted on this house, where it would have taken an hour if we had just sat down. But with this one, it's like we can literally do anything we want. It's just the two of us. So I just like wrote in some different provisions and things of like, for example, with the loan of like if I can't get the loan, then here was the deal. It was actually I offered $50,000 even though they weren't making money, because I know how to make a gym profitable, or at least I was confident that I knew how to make a gym profitable, and I was right because I've doubled their monthly revenue in 2 weeks. So I was right about that, but I was confident that even though they weren't making money at the time, it would still be worth that amount of investment. If he'd asked for more, I don't think I would have done any more. But the deal was, I'll give you $3,000 now. I'll get a loan for $44,000, and then when we close, I'll give you another $3,000. Right, so $50,000 total. With a little thing in the agreement that said like, if I can't get a loan that I'm happy with, then I'll give you another $3,000 on the day that we're closing, and then we'll finance this amount over a specified period of time. Right. So I couldn't actually find a loan that I was happy with, so I didn't pay the full amount. I'm going to make a $3,000 payment every month until I can get the
$50,000. Is there interest?
No, there's not, because we just put the deal together ourselves.
You
know, if there had been an agent involved, like it was good for both of us because he really needed to get rid of it and I really wanted to buy it. So it's been not every deal is going to be that way, but it's really been an easy negotiation environment because we're both very motivated. Where it's like in situations where somebody is less needy than the other, then that person can take advantage of the needy person. But so he said he got a whole bunch of different offers. Like I was talking with one of the members who the owner had approached him, was like, hey, I know that you're into investing, do you want to buy this? And he had put together an offer of like the seller finance of this much, and we're only going to pay this amount based on the revenue of the company hitting this amount, because that guy like wasn't confident in his ability to make it profitable. He wanted to buy it like an investment property. Of like what's my cash on cash return, what do I have to put into it? And he wasn't thinking about like, if I'm going to run it and put effort into it, then this is what my investment might be worth. So like when I was buying a soda company, that's what I was thinking too.
Because you weren't confident that you could run a soda company the way you could a gym.
Exactly. So then we put in the offer, and then the money didn't come, and like the provisions all kicked in, and like I put a lot of thought and time into it, like not a lot in the grand scheme of things. It's probably like 6 hours of like writing the contract and understanding all the different pieces of it and putting together the deal. And then here we are.
I think that's awesome. So the why was want to be an angel investor, work back to the first big step, which was buy a company, work back even farther, buy a gym.
Yeah.
Then the what, you talked about the negotiation. The what was the negotiations and everything. But then talk about, like, once you bought the gym and you immediately, like, you buy the gym, you sign the contract, what do you do next? Because you have to make it profitable very quickly.
Right.
Right.
So this will get into specifically the gym, like the fitness industry.
Sure.
One thing I've noticed is that lately it's been kind of a race to the bottom. You know, like when I was first considering a gym membership, like at Gold's Gym, like, I don't know if you remember, we went there one time and they signed us up for contracts that we then canceled the next day.
Yeah, I do remember that.
But it was like $35 a month, right? And that was like the lowest.
You're good.
Okay. That was like the lowest one that they had.
Yeah.
Right? For like a Gold's Gym, which is like a pretty standard.
Yeah.
And then there was like Lifetime Fitness, which was like the step up from that, which was like $75 a month, right?
Yeah.
And then in came Vasa Fitness, right? Which was like, we're going to offer memberships for $20. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And then all these people started to appear, you know, like Planet Fitness, $9.99 per month. And then like gyms have started closing. Like specialty gyms have started closing all over the country because they're separating into like CrossFit, which is like $150 or more per month. And then like Planet Fitness, which is like 10, right?
Yeah.
So everything in between is starting to close. And if people, one of the issues with running the gym that I'm at is that the owner thought they were competing with Vasa, right? They kept doing promotions all the time, and they would like give away like free months and like all these like, we'll do a promotion for this and for this and for this and this holiday and for this type of person and like military and like first responders, and like they were just trying to get as much as they could to get people to come, so they would just keep their price going. Like I was saying, it's like a race to the bottom, right? Where some people were paying $25 a month, right? Which is less than like an all-access pass to Vasa if you're going to go to multiple locations, right? So it's like the first difference is understanding what business we're in, right? We're not really in the fitness business. Like, obviously we are. Right? People come there to work out. But like the differentiating factor is not that we have specialized equipment, which we do. Differentiating factor is that we are small. And like this is like a family group. You know, like this is like a relationship-based thing, whereas Vasa Fitness is not. Right. So it's like the previous owner didn't understand the worth of the relationships and didn't understand the worth of that premium service. So I read 10X, like the 10X rule years ago, and one thing that popped back into my head was like, if I was going to 10X my prices, what would I have to do to make it worth it, right? To make it valuable. So their average member was paying about $49 a month when I took it over, right? So the first change was, well, we're going to add a whole bunch of levels of service, and I'm not going to 10X my prices, but I'm going to significantly increase my prices. So the top price before was $99 a month, and they would get like a specific class with a trainer that they could come to, plus the open gym, right? And that was their highest level of service.
$100.
$100 a month, yeah. So I added a nutrition program, and I added an accountability program, and I added like a weight loss guarantee, you know, and a whole bunch of different other little things. And it's my highest price right now is $750 a week.
Dang.
Yeah. I haven't had anybody buy it. I haven't had anybody sign up for it, but partly it's a price anchor of like, this is a premium service place. You know, and like when I'm talking weight loss guarantee, I'll give people like you can expect to lose this amount of weight in like roughly this amount of time. So based on your goal, it'll take you roughly this amount of time to lose it. So let's sign you up for this amount of time, right? To get to the place that you want to be physically, right? And so if we're talking like 6 months, then $750 a week for 6 months is tens of thousands of dollars, right? And when people, the funny thing is, like, I show that to everybody that sits down with me, and they'll look at it and be like, holy shit. You know, it's like, this is not what I thought I was signing up for. Like, it is, because I've gone through the whole service that we'll go through. I'll tell people about my premium clients. It's like, yeah, we'll not only like customize every single workout specifically to you. You come in, work with a trainer. We'll be flexible 100% on the hours. If you want to come in at 9 p.m., I'll have a trainer for you ready at 9 p.m. Right? I'll go shopping with you. We'll compare labels. Right? I'll look at like why this spinach is better than this spinach. Mm-hmm. You know, I'll text you every single day. You'll send me pictures of your scale, send me pictures of what you're eating. I'll give you recommendations. You know, like that's the level of service that I'm prepared to offer, and that's what it's worth. It's worth $750 a week.
Yeah, right? It's like a life coach essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
A personal trainer for your life.
Yeah, for like every aspect of your physical life, basically. So then when we're talking like my large group class plus the nutrition plus the accountability piece is $99 a week. And almost everybody that I've talked to signed up for that one. Which, $99 a week, that's $400 a month. That's more than $400 a month, right?
That's 10x, basically, of what the old price was.
And when people were thinking like, oh, I'm going to come in and sign up for a gym membership, their anchor is, it's maybe $20 a month, but since this one is like a little bit more specialized, I'll like pay $30 or $40. So when people are, it depends on what they're comparing it to, right? Because if they're comparing it to like, oh, a gym membership, right? I'm paying $25 a month to go to Vasa. Mm-hmm. And then, so I'll expect a little bit more because they're offering a little bit more. But like when they see the price of like $49 a month, when that was their paradigm before, it's like, that's really high, you know? And so people, like a lot of people signed up on Black Friday last year at this gym because they sold it for $39. And it's like, oh yeah, that's more in the realm of what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. But when it's like, what can I possibly do to make this worth $26,000 every 6 months, you know? And that's the paradigm they're going into it with. It's like, oh yeah, $400 a month doesn't seem like that much, you know? I've signed up so far 4 people on the open gym membership, which per week is $19, right? Mm-hmm. Which is about $80 a month. Mm-hmm. So it's like 150%, right, of what the 160% of what the price used to be, right? Mm-hmm. But for those people, it's like, you know what? I really want to do these other things, but like I literally don't have the money. So I like, fine, we'll go with the $80 a month thing, you know? And it's like, it's just that they didn't understand the industry that they were in. And I feel like I understand the industry that we're in. And like, really just 100% to toot my own horn, but like in the last 12 months, the biggest month that they had for enrollments was 7. They enrolled 7 people in January. Mm-hmm. I'd like to think that part of it is because I came along and like just the change of like excitement caused more people to want to sign up. But I didn't sign up those 7 people. They all came in on their own, right? Through the website. Because people were posting about it and people were talking about it and whatever, you know. But with the people, I've started creating the ads, right? I've actually spent $2,200 on ads in the last 3 weeks, $100 a day, right? But I've signed up almost $10,000 worth of clients, right? Because we're not competing with Vasa Fitness. Mm-hmm.
Totally different.
Completely different. The funny thing to me, actually, and it literally makes me laugh when I tell people this in the appointments, is that like the rec center in Springville up the street is $5 per visit, right? Which doesn't seem like that. It's like, oh, that's pretty cheap, like $5 a visit. I'll go to the rec center, right? But the open gym at Utah Iron is $19 a week, and if you come 4 times, it's cheaper than the rec center.
Yeah.
Right? So in certain cases, it's like we get the best of both worlds because we're cheaper than the rec center, but we offer, you know, as much, like more than Weight Watchers. You know,
a premium service.
Yeah, more than Jenny Craig. Like, like this is truly a premium gym. You know. Anyway, so the first change was we're going to offer a lot more service and we're going to charge a lot more money, because that's what's going to keep this gym alive. Like,
and keep it different.
Yeah, and keep it different. It's not a CrossFit gym.
Yeah.
You know, even if like we do CrossFit workouts. You know, even if all of our workouts were to be structured just like a CrossFit gym, it's not a CrossFit gym. It's a premium gym. It's a premium level of service. So the second change, well, I guess that was a bunch of changes at the same time. But the next change I am going to make, is switch the model around entirely. Because the model that they have right now, or that they had, was I'll try to recruit as many personal trainers as I can to pay me money to let me train their clients in my gym.
Mm-hmm.
That was the business model from before.
Right.
And it was like, they pay me 20% of whatever they're charging their people, up to $1,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then anything on top of $1,000, they just keep. Right. So it's like the whole model was like, I really need to entice some trainers to come use my space. Right.
And to get clients.
And to get their own clients, do their own marketing. Yeah. So it was like, I need to get trainers to come here where if they were training at Vasa, they get paid more because they're not making their own prices. They're not doing their own marketing, right? They're just getting paid hourly, which is nice. Maybe not nice. Depends on the person. But like, so there was some people were telling me about like specific issues with certain trainers and things like that in the past. And they were like, but you can't really get rid of that person because like they're bringing in money, like, and your gym needs money. Like nobody understands this model. I don't know why nobody understands it. Even the guy who's running it who has an MBA, and it's like, well, here's what you need to do. Like, here's my advice. Like, go to where personal trainers are and like try and see if you can get them to bring their clients to you to iron. It's like, that's a stupid model. That's so dumb. It's like, so the next thing I did was all the trainers that were working there, I hired them. Not all of them. One of them I did. But it's like, I hired them and I'm going to pay you hourly and I'm going to give you a percentage of the profits of what the people are paying. Right? So they all got a significant pay raise where I'm doing the marketing and I'm bringing the people in so they don't have to worry about that. All they have to worry about is training because that's what they're good at. Yeah. Right? And I'm good at marketing and I'm good at sales. So we're all making a lot more money by just switching the model around instead of it being like you're a contractor and you're in charge of your own marketing and like if you don't bring people in then maybe you can't be here anymore. But like it's like you focus on the programming, the workouts, and I'll get the people to you and I'll pay you a lot more money. Right? That was the next change. So the change after that was the members that we already have, and this is the one that I haven't made yet.
What percentage do you pay them? Not, I guess you don't need to give me a specific number, but like...
It depends on the type. So like for a large class, I'm paying... So my base is $20 an hour. And then on top of that, for a large class, which is like 12 people or more, I'll pay them an extra $1 per hour per person.
Oh, cool.
Right?
Yeah, that does seem like a big pay raise.
Yeah, it's a significant pay. Like our best trainer, who's like literally a world-class trainer, like she coached the world's strongest man when he hit world's strongest man. Like, I don't know, do you know Martins Litzis?
I've heard the name, yeah.
So he won World's Strongest Man last year, and they used to date, and she was his coach. Like, not at the same time that he hit it, but, like, in the past, like, she built him up to that point. Wow. And it's like, that's worth so much money, but she didn't even realize it. She was charging her people $20 an hour. So people were paying her for personal training. Anyway, so the minimum I'll let somebody pay right now is $60 an hour. Anyway, so that was a big deal, of like it's an extra $1 per hour per person, and then there's a small group classes which is like between 2 and 5 people, and I'm paying them an extra $5 per hour per person. So, per person, that's what I meant to say, and then for personal training I'll pay them an extra $20 per hour.
On top of $20 per hour.
20, yeah.
Nice.
So they can make up to 20 doing personal training, up to 40 doing personal training, up to 45 doing small group training, and then really up to 40 doing large group training too if we've got a max class of 20 people. So that was a big change. The one that I haven't made yet is with the existing members.
I was going to ask you that actually. Like, how do you navigate?
So all the things I read were like, just do it. Just like rip off the Band-Aid, just raise the prices on everyone all at once. You'll lose like 20 to 40%, but everybody that comes in from then on will all be paying at the higher price. It'll be so much easier, right? Yeah. Which I considered doing. But instead what I'm going to do, because they don't have that many members, like I literally could lose all of them and it wouldn't be that big a deal. I'd be able to replenish it within a couple months. I wouldn't like to do that, but I could. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm actually going to sit down with each member one-on-one, because there's like 40 active members. It wouldn't take that long. And I'm going to make them an offer. It's like, hey, these are the changes we're making. You can either upgrade to like the new membership, or you can be like a gym affiliate. In which case I'll keep your pricing. You have to sign up for a 12-month commitment at the pricing that you're currently at, and I won't raise your prices for at least a year, right? In that year, I haven't written up the whole agreement yet, because I had to make sure all of my trainers were on board first. and I had my training staff, and I just finalized that yesterday because we just signed the papers last Friday, right?
Right.
And
yeah.
today's Thursday, so I finally met with all the trainers yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So from that point, I'm gonna create an affiliate agreement, which is like 4 times a month, you have to post something on Facebook about the gym and tag the gym in it. And
these are members, right?
These are the
trainers?
current members.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the current members.
Yeah.
This is the agreement I'm going to give them. Like, if they want to cancel if they have a contract, then they can't cancel their contract till it ends, right?
Right.
I could cancel it because it's in the paperwork.
Right.
Anyway, they can leave, they can pay the new pricing, or they can keep the pricing they're at as an affiliate, which means that they're posting. I think it will be 4 times per month on social media, tagging the gym. It might be 5. I haven't decided yet. But they're also, if they ever attend a competition of any kind, so a lot of them compete in like powerlifting and strongman specifically. Mm-hmm. Some people like Highland Games. I think there's one Olympic lifting competitor as well. It's like any competition that you have to wear like Utah Iron gear. You know, if they don't let you wear a T-shirt, like you have to wear a headband or like a knee band or something, like you have to have like a decal on your shorts. Like, and I'll provide that. You know, I'll get some gear. It won't be that hard. The other thing is I'll give them each like an affiliate link to the supplement company that I partnered with. So that like, hey, when you want to buy supplements, you can go through this company and get it for cheaper, and then you can put the link on your Instagram, and then anybody else that wants to buy supplements, like, and you're making a post about the supplements once a month. You know, and then they'd get a commission off of that, which is kind of cool. And then
that is cool.
So would I.
Yeah. So basically, they're saving all that money. You're essentially paying them to market, and the way that you're paying them is by not charging them the full price to go to the gym.
Yeah. So there's one specific group, the Strongman group, and they are paying. Most of them are on like a 12-month contract, which is $49 a month. Because if you're just paying month to month, it was $79, which is about the same as what I'm charging for open gym. Anyway, but it's $49 a month for a 12-month commitment, and they're also paying the trainer $100 a month. Right?
Okay.
To coach them.
Yeah.
So they're paying for both. So if we switch that, and I'll pay the trainer, and we've already talked about how she'd be making more through me anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and she and I like came up with an agreement and everything that will work for both of us. But I'll pay her, and you guys pay me, right? And I'll keep you at $150 a month, which is actually more than most of the memberships are going to be, right? I'll keep you at this pricing if you'll I'm going to call it a sponsored athlete program, even though it's really just like an affiliate program. But anyway, if you agree to these terms of my sponsored athlete program, so that we keep the members, and it's like the first thing I thought of when I thought of it was I didn't think of it actually. Becca thought of it. She's one of our trainers. It was her idea because I was talking with her about the different pricing. She's like, "What if we do this?" I was like, "That's a wonderful idea."
Yeah, it is a good idea.
But I thought of Mulan when Mushu is like, he goes down to the cricket and he's like telling him to fan plane. He's like, "You're gonna stay. You're gonna work." So it's like that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna turn the existing members into marketers if they want, or they can just pay the new fee, like whatever. That's fine. And with the marketing that I'm doing, plus the really awesome trainers and the strong people that we already have that are there, I think 2 years from now, we could have 6 locations.
In Utah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's called Utah Iron. I don't know if we'd ever...
Yeah, it's a good point.
I mean, we could, like, Idaho Iron and Wyoming Iron. I don't know.
That's awesome.
That might already exist. But, yeah, that's the plan right now. And anybody... So, outside, like, the core 50 that are there now, anybody else won't get that same offer.
Right. They'll just get the normal pricing.
Yeah. Or I might even come up with a sponsored athlete, like a real sponsored athlete program where, like, we buy their supplements and we pay their their competition entry fees and stuff like that, and they get to work out there for free. But not yet. We're not there yet. And I don't think we have yet found that caliber of athlete.
Right.
But I think we will.
Right. I guess in closing, my last question. So you talked about why you did it, and you talked about the negotiation and now the business model. The one thing I'm still wondering is the marketing. Like, you've talked about ClickFunnels, you get all these, you've doubled revenue in 2 weeks on the average monthly. what have you learned about ClickFunnels and marketing your gym?
So the first thing I learned is that you need to be marketing.
Yeah.
So they weren't doing any marketing.
Uh-huh.
Like they had an Instagram that they posted on like 3 or 4 times, and it was really just like reposting videos of people who had worked out there.
Uh-huh.
Right? So just doing any marketing at all, I think would have been made a huge, and in fact, like I said, in January, they had their biggest sign-up month over the past 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
And all we did was like send out an email that said there's going to be a new owner and there's going to be changes, and like people got excited and started talking
Right,
about
like it reminded them that it exists.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. It really is funny. So marketing at all was a big change.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm not that great at it. What I would love to do eventually, like I think the direction that I'm heading
Mm-hmm.
is to identify like 7 or 8 or maybe even like 20 or 25 like different target niches,
Mm-hmm.
right? Of like specific targeted people, and then create ads based on those specific people. So what I did so far, it's kind of funny to admit, but I picked people that I know or I know of that I thought are my ideal client, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like there's a guy, like I'm a member of a group called Starting Strongman, and there's some people in there that I think like that is the exact person that has the money, that can pay for this type of membership, that is interested in competing, that would pay for like a trainer, and is like into this sport, right? And I found like, I think I found 6 or 7 people that I thought, this is my target client.
Mm-hmm.
And I just stalked their Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and wrote down literally every single thing that they've liked. Like I went into their about page and like their likes of like, oh, they like this 120 things,
Uh-huh.
you know? And after I had like 7 lists of those, I compared and I found like, this is what my ideal client mainly looks like. So I found out that like most of them are into gaming, right?
Interesting.
Yeah. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
Most of them are into gaming, and most like obvious things like they like powerlifting pages and bodybuilding pages and strongman pages, right?
Mm-hmm.
And certain people like they like Brian Shaw and they like Arnold Schwarzenegger and they like this guy named Cale Beck who runs the Starting Strongman page, like different things like that. Like they like Eddie Hall,
Mm-hmm.
they like Lou Ferrigno, you know, like
Yeah.
the things that you'd think.
Yeah.
Like the gaming one I thought was interesting. They're almost all conservative. Actually, they were all conservative.
Interesting.
Even though like the people that I was looking at weren't all from Utah. They're from all over the country, including California.
Uh-huh.
You know, and it's like they were conservative. They were into guns. Mostly they were into cars. Like if you just sat down and thought about like who would like to work out at a powerlifting gym, like it's all kind of obvious. They're also into like sexy girls, which every guy is. But like this is the things that they like on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook. Like
Yeah.
and they like it enough to let people see that that's what they like, because that's what happens on Facebook. Like you can
Right.
click on anybody's page and see a list of their likes, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so cars, guns, America. Not all of them liked Donald Trump. Some of them did, some of them didn't, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
So like political figures, there wasn't really a common vibe, but like I came up with like a consolidated list of like 40 things that they all liked,
Yeah.
right? Avengers, you know, like things that don't have to do with lifting. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What was another one? Anime.
Really?
Yeah. Interesting, right?
Interesting.
Yeah. So I created this list, and then one thing that Facebook ads allow you to do is build a target audience, and it just says like, what types of things do your target audience like? So I just like copied and pasted my list. I couldn't copy and paste. I had to type them one by one, which was annoying.
Yeah.
But I just like wrote in my list, and then I created this ad, and actually I got a lot of the copy I got from a program that I bought.
Uh-huh.
But the initial ads weren't as good as the ones that I created based on this model of like, okay, my first audience was like the ones that they told me to target, which was like people looking to lose weight and get fitness and nutrition help, right?
Mm-hmm.
For my premium clients. So that's most of the people that I've signed up were from this program that I bought that told me to target that type of clients, right? But the better clients that I've signed up that are probably going to be around longer and are going to like the gym better are the ones from this targeted ad. So like I went to the guys that work out there, and I was like, hey, can I borrow some of your Instagram videos and just like use them as ads? And they said that's fine. So I put videos of like, instead of, because the ones that I got from that thing that I bought were like, you know, a sexy woman in workout clothes like next to like a bunch of Tupperware with meal prep.
Right.
You know,
Sure.
and it's like, this is how we target, and like these are the people like who want to look fit and lose weight. You know,
Seems more generic gym
yeah,
than
right.
strongman.
Definitely. And I've signed up a lot of those people, and like they know what the gym is, right? And they were there like while people were grunting and yelling and listening to music with a bunch of swear words. So it's not like I've like pulled the wool over anybody's eyes. But it's when I started targeting my actual target audience, like the guy that was there today, like he messaged me yesterday, and he was like, "Hey, this like looks like exactly what I want. Can I come by?" Like he didn't even we didn't mention pricing or anything. I was like, "Yeah, you wanna let's sit down and we'll get you signed up." He's like, "Okay, cool." And then he came and sat down and we got him signed up.
It's awesome.
You know, because so I just put a video like so far I've only got one of this type of ad of like one of our guys picking up a 300-pound stone and putting it on top of this platform. And in the ad it says like I was just like pulling crap out of my butt. I'm not a copywriter, but it was like most people don't like working out at a gym like this. Like they get their hands torn up and they get bruises, you know, and they drop weights on themselves and they get yelled at and sometimes spit at and sometimes they bleed, you know, and that was mainly my ad. But it was like, why do they do this? Because they're chasing greatness. You know, they want to push their bodies and their minds to the max, you know, and want to know what it feels like to have completely conquered yourself and things like that. Right. So that's what my ad said. And it's like, people start clicking on it.
That's awesome.
You know, like the type of people that I found from this target list, and like I knew who the like psychographically I knew who the person was, but like externally, like what the types of things that they like, I didn't know. So that's where my research came in.
That's awesome.
And so I think I've only signed up 3 people from that ad. I launched it 2 days ago, and they all signed up for a year. You
That's
know?
awesome.
So it's cool.
That's really cool. Once again, by being different, and like literally, your copy is saying we're not like most people.
Yeah,
we're different, and that's why you should like us.
I watched a video from these guys called Traffic and Funnels. I think that's the name of their company. And they quoted somebody. I wish I remember who it was, but it was like, if I can spend $1 on marketing and get $2 back, I'll never have to worry about money again.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's so true. I spent $2,200 on marketing, and I've made back 9.
Yeah.
9,000. You know, and it's like there's no reason if you can outspend your competition in marketing, you'll never lose. You know.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, it's like the best ROI.
Right. Exactly.
That's awesome.
So.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna let you go. Thanks for talking. I think this is gonna be super valuable and awesome to a lot of different people, not just people that want to start a gym, but just business. So cool. Thank you, sir.